Today we're working with proportion word problems. So in your math notebooks, go ahead and write this in your table of contents. We're doing proportion word problems. And in my notebook, it's on page 39 and 40. Feel free to stop this video at any time if I'm going too fast so that you have enough time to write things down. You don't have to just leave it playing. Once I've written that down, I'm going to go to my next blank pages and label 39 over here and 40 over here. And then my title, of course, is Proportion Word Problems. Today we're going to be working on, if we're given a word problem, how can we set up a proportion to solve it? We know how to solve proportions. Today we're going to work on making the proportion based on a word problem. So this is the title in our setup. We're going to do one word problem together and we're going to write that down at the top of the page. It's a really short word problem. Go ahead and copy down the word problem as I write it. Our word problem says it takes 6 hours to travel 372 miles. How long will it take to travel 279 miles? Go ahead and pause this video so that you can continue writing that word problem down. Next, you're going to need to take one of these sheets that you should have at your table. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're only going to cut on those dotted lines. There's 2 dotted lines, so you're only making 2 cuts, and you'll end up with this little flappy thing that looks like a 3-legged octopus. Go ahead and pause it so you can do that. Next, we're going to work on the gluing. We're going to glue it right under the word problem, but we want to glue it so that we can open these as tabs. So we're only going to put glue on the top. So I'm going to fold it over. Do dot, dot, not a lot on the back. There we go, there's a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue that right under my word problem. And now I'm able to open up those flaps. So why don't you go ahead, pause the video so that you can get this cut and glued in correctly. Make sure you've got those flaps. Once everything is cut and glued in correctly, we're ready to start. Again, our problem says that it's 6 hours to drive 372 miles. How long will it take to travel 279 miles? We're going to use this strategy called the WKU strategy to help us make a proportion so that we can solve this problem by using a proportion. We're going to start with a W. W stands for word ratio. When I say word ratio, I just mean what units do we have in here? Like, do we have gallons per second? Do we have feet per minute? In this case, we have miles and hours. So I'm going to go ahead and write that as a word ratio. Miles over hours. It's written in words, and it's a ratio in fraction form. Miles to hours. And we just call that a word ratio. The reason I write a word ratio first is so I know that miles is going to be going on the top and hours is going to be going on the bottom. The second thing I take a look at is this known ratio. The known ratio I'm going to take from this problem up here, and the reason we call it known is because I know both of the numbers. Both of the numbers will be given to me in the problem. It takes 6 hours to travel 372 miles. Right there, I know both numbers. So, let's see. Miles was 372. And hours was 6. So it's 372 over 6. And it's okay that we're not labeling these because I already have the label right next to it to help me keep track of what's on top and what's on the bottom. So our known ratio is 372 over 6 because I know both of those numbers. The unknown ratio means that I'm not going to know one of the numbers in this ratio. And if I don't know the number, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write a variable. Today I'm going to use x. So let's keep reading our problem. How long will it take to travel 279 miles? So let's see. I know that miles is 279. But it didn't tell me the hours. That's what we're trying to find, how many hours it takes. So in the denominator, I'm going to put the variable x. This is my unknown ratio because I didn't know one of the numbers. I had to use a variable instead. Now, here's where we have our proportion. Those two are equal to each other because they're traveling at the same speed, so they'd have the same unit rate, like how many miles per hour. And yesterday we talked about that one of the main strategies we have to solve these proportions is cross multiplication. Circle that one, circle that one. It's okay if you don't have a calculator with you because I have one right next to me and I'll be able to solve it. 279 times 6 equals 1,674. So that's 279 times 6. The next one that we have, I'll zoom in a bit, 372 times x. Let's just, oops, that should be a 3. 372x. Since this is a proportion, these are equal to each other. And I want x by itself, so I am going to divide both sides by 372. All right, on this side, all I have left over is x, because 372 divided by 372 is just 1x, equals 1,674 divided by 372, that equals 4.5. Now, since this was a word problem, I want to make sure that my answer answers the question. So it says, how long will it take to travel 279 miles? My answer would be 4.5 hours, because x was on the bottom, so I know that that should be hours. 4.5 hours, and that's the response to our question. Now go ahead and open up your notebook so that you can see both pages like this. The left side right now we have is blank. On the right side we have an example. I have two problems for you guys to try on your own. You're going to write them down on page 39, but you can use our example as a way to help you solve this problem. So right now on your own, go ahead and try these two problems that we've got right here. And you can go ahead and pause it so that the video doesn't stop and you can still see the problems.